Hey guys, this is Nick, otherwise known as ISethKills, and today we got a full guide and tutorial, whether you're doing this on Nightmare or normal, on the guided and unguided Easter egg on Sewers of the Dead. Let's dive in. When you first load into the map, there's going to be these nodes that you must shoot. Get familiar with them because they are everywhere around the map. That would be the first one. Second one is just right outside the first door. Go ahead and destroy that and open up the second door. Now the goal of this, whether you're doing this on normal or nightmare, more important so if you're doing it on nightmare, is you want to get through all the challenges of the guided Easter egg in the earliest rounds as possible. So just keep that in mind as you're working your way. And the first step of this Easter egg is this exiting the sewer. Now this is where the part that you're wanting to get the half offs, triple points, anything that'll help you get doors and maybe a weapon as fast as possible. And we got the third one and final one to exit the sooner, and you will get updated objectives as soon as you shoot and exit. And we got another node here that's located right on top of the train. Must go ahead and shoot that before we can buy that door. Once you do have enough, go ahead and make your way in the train, and you're going to notice that you have more nodes. Go ahead and take them out. You can melee these, which will be a little bit quicker, but you can also shoot them. Up to you, dealer's choice. Anytime you see these challenges here, you want to grab them as quickly as possible. These challenges will give you points, and it will really help you out get the map opened. And as you can see, it gave me quite a few points, almost 2,000 points, a little bit more. And then now I'm able to buy the wonder weapon, which on Nightmare on this, it costs 2,400 points. Once you interact with this, which is the next step of the Easter egg, all these hags are going to spawn. Now, once you take care of the hags, you'll be able to pick up the wonder weapon. There's going to be these nodes around the map that you only can break with the wonder weapon. So make sure you do grab that and you keep it so you can break all these nodes that's around the map that looks like this. Once it's broken, the door will be able to be opened, and then you must shoot more nodes with the plagued wonder weapon around the map. Just keep in mind, everything is quite expensive on Nightmare, so as long as you kind of budget well, you'll be able to open up the doors at a decently low round. Like right now, we're only on round 5, and we're able to go ahead and open up the radio tower area. The next nodes is located at the bottom of the tower, so go ahead and make your way to the bottom by entering this little access point here. Once you are at the bottom, there's going to be 6 nodes that you must shoot. And there's only been one occasion where I found 7 nodes at the bottom floor and 1 node at the top. So just look around for the nodes. If you see that you shot 6 already at the bottom floor, then the other 2 will be located on the second floor. And as you can see, when I shot that node there, the next node just spawned in. So it kind of works like that. Some of the nodes don't spawn in until you shoot another node, but it's all the 6 nodes will be there. As you can see, I got 6 nodes, so I'm making my way up to the second floor. Here's the 7th one. And here's the last one. Once that is done, the objective will update, and you'll be tasked by getting key cards so you can access the boss fight. The first key card I like doing is the one next to the radio tower. And like I said, if you see these challenges, it's free points. Do them. I believe they're like 2,400 points. Every single time, so definitely worth it. And this is at the point in time when, if you have enough money, I would suggest picking up the M5 here at spawn. This will take you throughout the whole Easter egg, and it's, in my opinion, one of the best auto rifles in the game, or that fires automatically, even though it's an SMG. I think it's better than the AK. Go ahead and start the radio challenge, and this one's pretty simple. All you need to do is shoot the shapes in order from left to right. As you can see, I shot it there. We're going to take a look at this one. This one is triangle, circle, square. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot triangle, circle, which is at the top, and then square, which is at the middle. That one is done. Now this guy got one more to do. This one is square, triangle, circle. I'm going to go ahead and shoot that. Once that is complete, we'll go ahead and pick up the first chamber key. Alright, that is all done. Go on to the next one here. Next challenge I like to do is right next to the radio tower. You must open this door that we've shot the pod to open, and you must interact with this middle console here, which will spawn in a bunch of electric knights that's going to come out through this window. So be careful, these electric knights do hit hard, and if you're playing on Nightmare, if two of them get to where you are, shooting them from, and they swipe you, it could be an insta down. So just be very worried by doing this part. Make sure you have a weapon at least, and maybe jug, just in case. And what's going to happen is those knights are going to drop these quarters, and you're only going to need 3 of them to go on to the next step. But once you do get the quarters, you need to deposit into this little terminal. And once you deposit all 3, a little circle will spawn, which you just need to stay in the circle. You don't need to get kills for a certain amount of time for the circle to be completed. Once complete, it will update the objectives, and you need to go to spawn, and you need to locate luggages that have the initials NW. Once you do find that, interact with the luggage, and one of those luggages, and there's many of them, will have 4 cards that's going to give you a combination that you need to enter in the train. We got another pod here, and this will open up Pack-a-Punch, and then also gives us access to the luggages that we need to check out. Anytime you see rats on the ground, go ahead and shoot them with one shot of the Plagueis. That usually does a trick. So in our first briefcase, we got our cards there. Usually what I usually do is I take a screenshot of the cards and then remember them. That way, when I get to the train station, it's easy. If you're like me, I forget a lot, so if you take a screenshot, it's easy. These are all the locations of all the briefcases, just in case you didn't get lucky and found it on your first one like I did. And that usually never happens. With your screenshot in hand, go ahead and make your way to the train and enter in the code from left to right. Once the code is entered right, the door will open, and you just need to grab a part in there, which will complete another key set. So that's 2 out of 4. We just got 2 more to go. Next one I like to start is in spawn. You just go ahead and interact with the zombie that's hanging on the wall, hanging out I should say, and then you want to make your way to where Pack-a-Punch is, open this door, and you just want to follow this route. You want to shoot the first zombie here, and then you want to go back to spawn and shoot the zombie we interacted with. Then you want to make your way back into the train where you see this outside portion of the train section. Shoot the 3rd zombie. Last location is by the radio tower. If you make your way where we started the 2nd challenge, it'll be right here, and that will be your 4th one. You're going to notice that your objectives have changed. It says shoot the purple shelled pod, which is located at spawn. For this part, I would recommend at least getting a Pack-a-Punch weapon because you will have to fight a rat version of an abomination. So just make sure you at least have a single pack. Will just make this step a lot easier. And make sure also that you're trying to do this at a pretty decent early round. Make sure to look out for these half prices and take full advantage of them. Once you are ready, go ahead and go to where you originally spawned at and shoot the thing that's on the ceiling, which is your wonder weapon. It's going to spawn the King of Rats. You'll be tasked to take this big guy out. Take your time. Do this when you just have the one zombie in the round. That way you can just focus fire on the boss. Once the King of Rats is taken down, your objectives will update. And now we're 3 of 4, almost done. Last challenge will be located here in the train, and keep in mind you can do this in any order, but I just like doing it in this order. I found it to be more better as far as the run goes. I got a pod here. Make sure you shoot that one because that's for the hidden Easter egg, so don't give up your wonder weapon before shooting all the pods that you need to shoot for the Easter egg. After picking up that device, which is a mind-altering device, you're going to make your way back into spawn to the missed objective marker that you see in my screen. Once you are there, go ahead and interact with this little metal door. And you're going to go ahead and put the mind control device on this quiet one. And the quiet one is going to ask you for some num-num, which is money. And anytime you give him money, he's going to go a little bit faster. So it is worth doing this because it will take forever to get to where he needs to go if you just stand by him. So save enough money to do this. If you don't have enough, obviously pay him until you don't have enough, and then start the round and move him along when you can. Once he is down in the sewers, you'll be able to interact with 2 wheels, which will drain the water in the sewer. Once you interact with them, the water will drain and you'll be able to pick up our next key. That is all 4 keys. Now we must deposit them into 2 doors, which will be at the bottom of the radio tower. Once you're at the bottom, go ahead and put the keys into the both doors, which it takes 2 keys per door. Once you interact with the last door, your objectives will change, and you're going to have to get 100 kills in a tiny circle in probably the second worst place it could be in the map. Probably the worst place would be the train. So this is the reason why you want to get to this portion of the step at the earliest possible round. Because if you try to do this in the later rounds, it'll become even more dangerous. So try to get here maybe round 11, 12 if possible. That way it'll make this step a lot easier. Don't forget to use your miracles and use your grenades. Anytime it gets too hectic in here, I always like going up top, kind of hoarding them up and then going back down with a grenade and specialist just to kind of make it a little bit easier, especially if you're on Nightmare. Because if you try to stay in this spot and try to camp out here and kill, even if you're on a low round, you will die. So just kind of do what I do here. Use your grenades, use your abilities, but exit as soon as it gets a little bit overwhelming. Gather them up top, and then kind of rinse and repeat the process until the step is complete. As you can see, when you make your way down, however, it can be a little dangerous. So definitely use your abilities, your heals, whatever you have to do. But this is definitely a lot more safer, especially if you have the stranger right behind you. If you get insta-kill, stay here, for as long as possible. But like I said, don't take too much chances, especially if you're on Nightmare. Once you have it to about 99%, I like to save 2 zombies at the end of the round. That way I can complete the circle and get to the next step. Once complete, you'll be able to pick up the teleportation fuel and enter into the boss fight. This is the point in time where you're going to want to get perked up Since we are on a low round, having a tier 1 weapon is fine. So go ahead and get the perks that you most want. And what I would suggest is everything probably but shock and load. I mean, if you could afford shock and load, go ahead and grab it. But if you're like me and want to save a little bit because you know you want to use the God Killer weapon, or you want to upgrade your current weapon, whatever the case is, because you need money for that, you definitely want to be a little bit stingy when it comes to how you spend your currency. Once you've got all perks, go ahead and go down all the way to the bottom of the radio tower where you can enter the teleporter and go ahead and engage the boss. Now, this boss on Nightmare difficulty can down you, especially with all the abominations, so don't take it too lightly. Be a little bit more careful than you would run it on normal. Keep in mind the abominations don't spawn on the first DPS phase if you keep one zombie in the round. I mean, it doesn't go on. So if you have that one zombie, you can pretty much do this whole fight without having any new zombie spawns and just have to deal with the abominations. So that's what I would suggest, is just save that one zombie, start the fight. And just be careful, like I said, with the abominations. One thing I would suggest is when you're shooting the nodes, don't take too much time, don't dawdle. If you have to make a second, turn around to get the node, it's fine, do that. But you just don't want to get stuck by the abominations. Once you do put enough damage into the node, it will go ahead and spawn in the stranger again. So just keep in mind, anytime you're down in this little area, be safe. Make cutbacks, turn back if you don't think that you can go through, because there will be an exit without spawns. You just got to make turn back sometimes. Just be careful during any part of DPS, because you will have a ton of abominations chasing after you, and trust me, a large part of their goals is to trap you and get you stuck, so all of them can eventually take you down. So just kind of be careful, make circles as you need to, grab ammo, and just take your time during this. Just the whole purpose here is just not to get stuck. Once you put enough damage, stranger will exit, and you will have to find the last node for this. This is the most hectic part of it, because this is where all the max abominations will be spawned. So just be careful, take your time to try to find a node, make turnbacks, cutbacks, whatever you need to do. Like right there, I didn't finish the node, so I'm going to have to come back. Since this is at Nightmare, I'm not taking any chances, obviously. So once we shoot and take enough damage into this node, we'll be able to go ahead and shoot the stranger. That was my second attempt to try to put much damage. That's the one thing about going in on a single pack weapon, is that for the nodes itself, it takes a little bit more damage. But like, I probably should have used the Rat Wonder weapon. Probably takes it out a little bit faster. But if you have a tier 2 weapon at this, it usually doesn't take too long. But as you can see, you can do this with a tier 1. It just takes a little bit longer with the nose. Once it is shot, the stranger will show up again, and you'll be able to take him out for the last time. Once you do put enough damage, GG's, you have completed the full Easter egg on Nightmare. And now we can go ahead and start the hidden Easter egg, which we'll dive into right now. Also, as a FYI, what I'll be doing is I'll be showing the normal version of this fight on hardcore, hidden hardcore Easter egg boss fight on normal, and then also I'll show and give a little bit of my thoughts on the Nightmare version of the hardcore boss fight at the end of this tutorial. On a side note, if you're like me, you will have a bunch of abominations left over in the boss fight. If you simply just end the round, the abominations will despawn. So depending on where you're at in the round, just keep in mind, if you can finish that round, you won't have to take care of the abominations. Or if you somehow die during this step, you have all the abominations still on the playing field, they will despawn if you die. So either or will despawn the abominations. I just wanted to let you know that because there's been cases where I was on my nightmare run and I died because there's just so many abominations. And if I knew that killing the last zombie would ended the abominations, then I would have done so. So just know that ahead of time. Go ahead and interact with the metal gun case or coffin, whatever you want to call it. Interact with it, kill the stranger, and now the same thing as the other maps, you need to find 3 different spawn points around the map that he could spawn to. So the first spawn point is the radio tower control room in this little corner. You want to open this door. It's actually called the water room. It's going to be the top right. Go ahead and shoot him. Another location, if you make your way up these stairs and you go and you look at these rocks on that corner next to this tree, you'll see them right here. I wanted to include this. This is the sound it makes when you're getting close to it. Right there. I see him right above the water tower. And go ahead and shoot him. Once you hit all 3, you will hear that sound signal letting you know it's done. Let's go over the other 3 locations. Another spawn point can be in the catacombs, and he'll be tucked away in the corner on this corner here. Another possible spawn point is the radio tower, or next to the radio tower in the sewer entrance. You'll hear the sound signal. It'll be tucked away on the left corner. I just wanted to make sure you guys heard that sound signal. Here's a little bit better of a clear shot of it here. It'll be tucked away to the left corner. Go ahead and shoot him. Another location is if you go into the trees or train and then you make a right here where this cage is, you'll see him right here on top of the rocks in the middle of the trees. After collecting all 3, you're going to hear a sound cue once it's completed. And you're ready for the next step. Once complete, head back to the train and interact with this cage. It will spawn in a boss. He's not too big of a deal. Just be careful nonetheless. He does hit pretty powerful. Just, have a zombie saved. Maybe not fight him in the train. Take him out and you'll move on to the next step. Next step is you want to go to the back of the train area where you picked up the wonder weapon, and you want to notice that this is a compass. There's going to be north, west, east, and south, and there's going to be 4 pillars around the mat that you need to press a button. Not press a button, sorry. Press a button to turn a statue, which is a cat statue, pointed to the right direction. So what I want you to do here is you just want to keep note of every single direction and what its symbol it corresponds to. And what I'm doing in this video, and I'm just doing, little screenshots just so I can keep it for later. So I would recommend doing the same. So after whittling it down to 1 zombie, the first location is going to be right next to spawn, and you want to go ahead and switch this direction to the corresponding symbol of which you took pictures of. So you just want to make sure the cat is pointing to the direction to the right symbol. Next location is near the radio tower, and the same thing. You want to go ahead and move this to the direction in which it needs to be. Next one would be right next to the radio tower and next to the train. Same thing here, just go ahead and move it to the corresponding symbol. Last one is going to be on the opposite side in this corner here. Same thing here, go ahead and move it to the appropriate symbol. You'll hear that sound cue and you'll be ready for the next step. After hearing the sound cue, you want to go ahead and go back to the points where you've seen all the directions and the symbols, and you go ahead and spawn the next boss. Same thing here. Take them out, at a safe round when you have just one zombie, preferably maybe not on the train where you can get stuck. Once he's dead, you'll hear that sound cue again, and you'll be ready for the next step. Next step here is you want to go back into spawn, and you're going to notice that Demon Goat is back for more fun, and this is going to be another escort step. Same thing here, so you just want to make sure maybe you save just the one zombie, and then escort when you feel it's safe. The one thing I could tell you is that this one is a little bit different than the other two maps. It's actually going to spawn in several zombies, 2 different times. Or I think 2 different times, and then before he actually disappears. So just make sure you're prepared for this. Make sure you have proper weapons upgraded. I mean, obviously you would have if you've completed the main Easter egg, but just make sure you're ready. Once he's to the spot, he's going to spawn in all the ads. Just be careful, kill him, and then go ahead and start guiding him again. When he gets close to the second location, he's going to do the same thing. He's going to spawn in more enemies. Same thing here, just be careful, take him out. Once you're finished, go ahead and start guiding the goat. One thing that I kind of noticed here is that it spawned in the enemies from the fortress, Deadly Lover's Fortress, which I thought was a nice little nod to the next map. What I've come to realize is that this goat has been trying to kill us the whole time, so he's maybe not on our side. Once he does get to his last location, however, he will spawn in another Baylor, the Undying. Just be careful, maybe not be in the train. Same thing here. Find an open place to fight him. Be careful and take him out. Once he's down, you'll be able to move on to the next step. After the last Baylor has been defeated, go ahead and go back to the train, and what you want to do is you want to interact with what's now open cage and go ahead and grab your token for this map. This is going to allow you to enter into the hardcore boss fight. Once you are ready, go ahead and interact with what's now the top right symbol, and this will go ahead and spawn in the stranger once again. When you are ready, go ahead and start doing damage onto him. Now, with this boss fight, I do have to let you know it's a lot more dangerous than the original boss fight. This is actually my second run. In my first run, I thought it was a good idea to kind of stay on the outsides and kind of, destroy the nose as fast as possible, kind of like how I would do on the normal run. I do not suggest that. Okay, so on my first run, I had a death where right after I shot the node, I went back up top as fast as possible and got stuck by Baylors, like 15 of them. And right shortly after that, I got killed with some type of death barrier hugging the outskirts of the boss arena. So definitely don't hug the outskirts of the boss arena. You can stay on the sides, but then, kind of try to stay close to the middle as possible. And what I felt worked, at least for me on this run, was I took care of some of the Baylors. Now, what I noticed though is that if you do take out all the balers after another DPS phase, they do keep spawning. But it was a good idea to the fact that it limited them on the playing field. So I would suggest doing the same thing before you start DPS on phase 2. So take care of some of the balers and then go ahead and shoot your node. Once you clear the field of balers, and this is just a safety strategy, go ahead and search for your node. Once your node is found, go ahead and destroy it. And you're going to go ahead and start another DPS phase. Same thing here. You want to take them down. Just be careful, because like I said, this minute you start putting damage into them, balers are going to be spawning. So just watch your back. And these guys do one-shot you. And I think when you're playing on normal and you're going for the hardcore Easter egg, it ups the difficulty as far as the AI. So you're actually playing like maybe a hard version of ads instead of just normal version of ads. So just keep that in mind. Same thing here. This is when I started to figure out, after I killed all the balers, that they kept spawning. It was a good idea still, though, because it didn't limit them on the field. And when I, came back up from destroying the node, they just weren't everywhere. And having a stranger not on the playing field during me killing all the balers made it a lot easier. So to each his own. You can definitely do whatever strategy works for you. I've seen a lot of runs where people just went right into it, got lucky, didn't get stuck, and didn't get stuck by the balers, didn't hit any death traps. So, definitely however you feel comfortable. This is where I started noticing that more balers were spawning. So as soon as you think it's safe enough, especially on this last phase, I would just wait until all of them are at top. Kill the last node. Don't go up the same circle, the same entry point you went into. Try to find a safer route further away. And just like here, if you see a baler coming, go the other way, no matter what. Don't try to sneak through, because I've done that, and trust me, you'll regret it. But you find a safe passage way up. Try to find a clean area to do some damage into the boss. What I would suggest is doing a quick lap around the arena, and then once you have all your enemies behind you, go ahead and shoot. But one thing I do want to let you know is that the balers do teleport in front of you, and then there's also ads that do the same. So just kind of keep a mindful eye, and you should be fine. But congratulations. This is the full Easter egg tutorial. Hopefully it helps you out. If it did help you guys out, please do leave a like, subscribe to this channel. If you would, consider maybe leaving a comment. Let me know what you thought of Sker Ritual and what you think of this Easter egg. It would be greatly appreciated.
Congratulations. The divine god killer is now yours to wield. There's nothing on Sker Island.